We had our first mini monsoon earlier today. It actually like rained. Now it wasn't like a full-blown monsoon, I wouldn't say that, but we got a decent amount of water, you know. We got some puddles sitting around. There's a good one back there, but may not be done, may come in later. It's kind of all the way over there, but I think it's moving that way because our mountain range back here is still nice and clear. So we're gonna work on the house today. Ashley had to go into town to run some errands, so she's not here, but guess what? We have the dolly bucket, and so the kids and I are gonna try to see what we can do until she gets back. So let's see what happens. Already slight change in plans. We decided that instead of trying to find a long wall to use the dolly bucket, we're just going to deal with it and finish this. So this is the bedroom circle. We did that over the arch yesterday. So we're going to do course 20 here and just kind of do as many of these little sections as we can. And they're just too short to use the dolly bucket. So that means we'll only have one mixer, one wheelbarrow, one scoop, one scaffolding, and one person on the wall. That's the plan. We're sticking to it.
Best way to do it, you can grab this and pull it like that, and I will help get it up enough that we can hit the end.
Yeah.
And then you can use both hands on either side.
Oh yeah, I got it. Easy.
Smash my hand.
What?
All right, time for the next bag, just like the last one. Rained out. We're rained out. We gotta put everything up. Sorry. You okay? Well, friends, we only did one bag. We totally got rained out. It's okay, though. I'm not complaining. A little mini monsoon is always welcome. We got 2 little mini monsoons today, which is good. It's very good. That's a promising start to the monsoon season. So, yeah, we called it for the day. It was already too late by the time it stopped raining. It's cooled off really nice. It feels great outside. So we're just going to enjoy the evening, and we'll get back to it tomorrow. You know what we haven't talked about in a while? Our berm and our swale. So we've been having some issues on and off, some problems with our water pump, with drip irrigating, with making sure these trees are getting enough water. We're also fighting a very ravenous gopher or mole or something that really likes our honey locust trees a lot. But what I want to talk about today is something that we learned. We actually took a trip down to Parkland Nursery, which is where we got all of these trees from. And we wanted to get some trees to replace the honey locust that the gopher keeps chewing the roots off of. But they didn't have any trees. They had like sold them all. So anyway, we got to talking to them. I had a bunch of questions about drip irrigating because I've been trying to research like how do you irrigate trees? And everything I found online is pretty much just like until your trees are happy. And I'm like, well, that doesn't, I need more specifics. And so I was able to talk to them for a little bit. I got some really good advice. I'm going to share a couple of things with you. So the first is that our trees are getting bigger, and that's a good thing, but it also means they are going to start requiring more water. So we've been doing like 2 gallons an hour, and that was not enough anymore. Our trees have grown a lot. I mean, look at this one back here. It's like taller than me. And so after talking to them for a little bit, he's like, you really need to be doing a minimum of 4 gallons an hour for the size of trees that you have. But he also talked about how the emitters need to be further away from the trunk of the tree. This makes total sense. I never thought of it. I'm going to explain it real quick. Maybe you all know this, but as your trees get bigger and as they get wider, the canopy sort of grows, right? And so as the rain comes down, it's not ever going to go right to the trunk again because this part is sort of keeping that from happening. And so a tree's roots naturally will move out past this canopy line. So when we originally set up the drip irrigation, it was all like right at the trunk at the base of the tree because that's where the root was. But now that these have been growing for like 3 years, their roots are starting to spread out. And we really need to be watering their roots further out. So in addition to doubling the emitters on each tree, so now we have 4 1-gallon-an-hour emitters. I also tried to move them out so that they were out past that drip line for the tree. So that was one thing that we learned that I thought was really helpful. The other thing that's actually not so great for us is that because we have so much sand in our soil, the way that we water needed to change. So this is the way they explained it to me. And again, this makes total sense. If you're watering your trees, you're drip irrigating, it's going down into the soil, right? If you water too long, because, you know, I'm always told you need to deep water these for sort of longer periods of time and then leave them, let them grow, and then come back and do it later. If you go too long, because it's so sandy, it's just going to go past the roots down into the bottom of the berm, and it's not going to do anything. So what that means for us, unfortunately, is that we need to water more often, but not for as long a period of time, but with more water initially. So going up to 4 gallons per hour per tree, running that for an hour instead of like an hour and a half or 2 hours, you get it about to the right level. And then you have to do that like every couple of days instead of like every week or every 10 days. Now you may be asking, how could you have avoided this? Well, good question. If we had sort of realized that our sandy soil was gonna be such a problem, we should have dug a huge hole for the tree, put some clay in the bottom of it, and then planted the tree in that, and maybe even put in some hardwood cloth to keep those gophers out. That would have been like a great way to start the berm. At the end of the day, it just means we have to do a few more water runs every once in a while, and it's going to take a little bit longer to get them established, and they may not grow as quickly as they would in a more clay-heavy area. But on the flip side of that, it means that whenever these swales fill up, they don't hold water, which you don't really want to happen. Because if we had a big rain and this swale was completely filled up, which we've seen happen, but then it just stayed in there for like weeks, then you start getting mosquito problems, you get gross water, and like that's not good. So we do want it to infiltrate down into the soil, recharge the aquifer, add more moisture content to the soil itself, but it is working against us a little bit on the drip irrigating for the tree. So we've been running this for a couple of months. We've made a few other upgrades. Our water pump is now powered by AC power instead of DC power. We're having a lot of trouble with voltage drop from such a high power pump and such a big water pressure tank. It kept trying to fill that pressure tank up. It would take too long. The voltage would drop on the 12-volt battery, and then it couldn't finish pressurizing. It would get stuck in this awful loop where it would just like destroy batteries. So anyway, connected AC power works way better now. And as a little tiny upgrade, we have a Bluetooth enabled irrigation timer thing that you can control from your phone. I got a little Wi-Fi extender for it, so now it's on our Wi-Fi. Now I can control it from anywhere. I don't have to like go physically up to it, so I can, you know, reschedule stuff if it's going to rain from anywhere, even if I'm like not here at the homestead, which is super helpful. And moving those emitters further out, doubling the emitters on every single tree has really made a huge difference. The trees they're pretty happy. The more I do this, the more I kind of realize what happy means, right? It means that they're standing up straight, they're not drooping, all the leaves are full, things are still growing out of the top, you know, it's happy. I'm starting to get it. It's going to take a while to like really become one with the trees, but I'm pretty happy with our progress so far. And once it really starts monsooning this year, it's going to get even better. So there you go. Small berm and swale update. Keep an eye on how quick stuff is growing and how much water you're putting in and how long you do it, how fast your soil takes it, because it's all just a really complicated math problem that no one really has the answer to unless you just try it. There you go. Hey, so remember in the last video when I showed you the new dolly bucket and I said we've also got some other ideas for ways to sort of streamline the earthbag laying process with fewer people. So we got a thing and we're going to try it, and it may work and it may not, but let's see what happens. This should be fun. Wish me luck. Harbor Freight installation instructions. All right, so you probably guessed it's a drywall lift. Obviously, we're not going to be lifting drywall with it, but a friend recommended this to us because it's pretty cheap, it's easy to get, and it's rated for up to 150 pounds, and it'll go up 11 feet, which would be plenty. So here's our idea. Instead of sticking drywall on here, we're just going to take a piece of plywood, mount it to this, and then basically we'll wheelbarrow over, and we'll scoop as many scoops, or we may get some smaller buckets, and we'll set as many as we can up here to get less than 150 pounds. Then we'll just hoist it on up like that, and then the person that's either up on the wall or up on the scaffolding can grab those buckets and dump, set them back on there, and then the person can put them back on. Person down, we'll bring it down, and then we'll reload it, we'll do it all over again, and maybe this will mean that we eliminate one job, because that would mean we only need one person with a wheelbarrow loading and lifting, one person up with the bucket dumping in and moving the dolly, and then like one person on mixer. We could potentially do it with 3 people, maybe. Like I said, we'll see how this goes. It's a little wobbly and it spins. We might need to make some adjustments. We're gonna give it a shot. It was pretty cheap. It was like $200 something. Definitely simpler and more maneuverable. That's a big thing. You know, we had a lot of people asking us about like conveyor belts and stuff. Those are going to be really hard to fit inside different sections of the house and to move around and to move that conveyor constantly. This has wheels. Should be a little bit easier to move, theoretically. So we're going to give it a shot. See if it works.
You really think this is worth it, babe?
Well, we're going to find out. This is called experimentation.
Can I tell you all the problems that I see? Or do you want me to not?
I'm aware of all the problems. It's not a perfect solution.
You gotta focus on the positives. Well,
It's
all
a-
I see is negative.
It's a possible solution.
Okay.
That's how we're framing it.
Well, do you want me to explain any negatives right now?
No, because we'll find out in just a minute. We'll find out real quick if it works.
Problem number 1. We lose another safety feature. We do have a scaffolding on the other side, but in order to eliminate this job, we have to move this in its place.
Yep.
So problem number 1.
Trade-off number 1.
Problem number 1 is we lose safety.
Quit, lend me your ear. I can make your memories disappear. Let me turn enemies into dearly beloved round true when you barely recover. Game changer, change maker, track record breaker, earth shaker, ground breaking, head in the clouds, but there's no cloud.
Here's another problem. Problem number 4. 500. Can't do it like that. That's the problem.
You gotta put it in the middle.
But it's all gonna fall out.
That's why I said
Go faster, keep in time. Final lap and I see the finish line. No take, give. Give it all you got, give it love.
Okay, so it just doesn't make a lot of sense to do the short bags with this new contraption. What are we gonna call it? The lift? So we're gonna go ahead and do this one the normal way, and we'll use this again when we get to the straight wall in a day or two. Sometime next time we work.
a longer wall.
Yeah, a longer wall with the dolly, and we'll see how well it does there. Do you want me to explain any other problems? Because I see a lot of problems. But I also see that it could be useful when we're higher up.
Well, yeah, it doesn't. There's a lot of problems when we have enough people, but when we don't have enough people, it solves different problems.
Right, it depends on what problem you're trying to solve. Right now, we are not too extremely high to where we have to use this right now. But also it's a short wall. So like pretty soon we're gonna be like doing long runs over the doorways and windows. So I think the next step will just be to try it on the long run. But it'll be a couple days.